I've already mentioned we do this annual survey, and it's been happening since 1992, and it's gone through various phases. Back in the day, it was all about process re-engineering, then it became about process management, and as we know, 20 odd years ago, 2 decades ago, a lot of us started getting involved in customer experience, customer expectation management, customer transformation, and so on. And we try to do the annual survey really as a sort of finger on the pulse for what is happening. The people who've participated, it's just over 1,200, as you'll see in a moment from the selection. They're either certified or accredited senior CX professionals across the world. And the professionalization that we do is around the Accredited Customer Experience Program, the Certified Process Professional Program, and the Certified Outside-In Masters Program. In some instances where we were getting the feedback, what we started to do, and I say there's a small team of us around doing the survey, we started to drill down with particular people. So we were spending our time talking to people about, oh, you filled it in this way, can you share with me some more detail of that? So we've broken each of the 5 challenges out into 3 or 4 domains, and then we'll talk about those domains, sometimes with videos, sometimes just with commentary. But important for all of us is, how are the people that completed the survey meeting these challenges? What are they doing? And what is the next practice? Not always the best practice, but what's the next practice? How are they sort of innovating innovation, if you want to put it like that? So that's a little bit of the survey background. In terms of the contributors, in terms of the survey, we focus this survey really on senior practitioners. So people who've been doing this stuff for 2 or 3 years and already have a qualification. It's great if you can, break apart the surveys into different domains and different people. But we really wanted a perspective that we could share, which was talking about those people who have ultimate responsibility for delivering this. Usually in large corporations, not always in large corporations. We're focused on SMEs and some consultancies sometimes, and some owner-based businesses. But the survey respondents came from 92 different countries, all senior and all accredited customer experience professionals. Those are the common denominators. So as you can see, it's a fairly wide split. People who describe themselves as senior, represented 1/4 of it. More than 1/4 describe themselves as directors of CX. And there was a whole raft of titles within that, from head of CX, chief customer officer, customer experience director, things like that. So that's of that ilk, right the way through to partners of businesses, those partners, large consulting firms and people like that who get involved in doing this stuff as well. So that's a bit of a background. In terms of the 5 CX challenges, and don't worry guys, we're going to do a Q&A at the end, and if you want to put anything in the chat room as we're going through this, that would be great as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do them like a good DJ, and I'm going to do them in reverse order. So the 5 CX challenges were derived from 52 original challenges that were identified. And then what we did is we normalized them, took out the duplicates, played them back to some of the survey respondents, not all of them, but played them back. And then we asked them to distill them down to the top 5 challenges. And that this amalgamation is those top 5 challenges from the last 9 to 12 months. So I'm sure if we'd have done this survey 3 or 4 years ago, it might have been different. And sure enough, if we do it again in 12 or 18 months, there's going to be different answers. But at the moment, this is the top 5. So starting with number 5 on our hit parade, there I'm dating myself there, is customers have changed forever. So that would be our observation, that customers have changed forever. And really, what do I mean by that? Well, if we actually have a look at the responses to that, we're either asking, do you totally agree that we understand our customers? Do you mostly agree? Do you disagree a lot? Or do you totally disagree that we understand our customers? And as you can see, the constituency there, about nearly 50% were either in the disagree a lot or totally disagree that we understand our customers. So hence the importance of this. And our view on that is to describe that is, if you want to have a kicker, is customers have changed forever. And there's certain elements to that change which emerged as we drilled down and began to ask the question of different people. And those elements ranged from these 4 domains: prosumer, expectation, segmentation, wants and needs. So rather than going into the survey in detail, what I wanted to do is just give you the headline. So for instance, with the prosumers, it's so many organizations were saying this, and I think we would acknowledge that some people were saying this 10 years ago, but I think what's happened over the last few months has certainly focused our attention on this, is that you and I as consumers, you and I as business to business entities, you and I as clients, as citizens, or whatever the C word is, okay, we do our research, we go and find out about things, we understand the products and services that we want, and more particularly so these days, if we're going to make a purchase as a consumer, by the time we actually get to making the purchase, we've already done, you know, we've been on the net, we've been and asked these consumer groups, we've gone and asked our friends, our colleagues and partners, and so on and so forth. And it's often said that organizations will reflect that the customers know more about our services and products than we do ourselves. So what chance have we got in terms of upskilling our people to have a broad breadth of product and service knowledge? So that would be the first one. Customers have become prosumers. And for those who haven't been introduced to that phrase before, that was actually an Appleism from way back when, 10 years or so ago, where they were acknowledging that consumers have become professional consumers and prosumer. There's this other aspect of customers changing forever, is that the expectations that customers have got are way high these days. And interestingly enough, one of the ones, the comments that emerged the most was the expectations aren't formed by the experience with us and our industry. So if I'm in banking, they're not informed by how other banks are doing this stuff. They're actually informed by my life experience as a customer. And remember, this could be a B2B customer relationship. It's not about the individual necessarily. It could be a collective of customers. And with that sort of thing in mind, is every experience is influencing a customer's expectation about what you can or cannot deliver. And why can't you be doing this thing in this particular way? Because these guys over there do it, those guys over there do it, but you're stuck back in a world gone by, which is not relevant anymore. So that was a pretty strong thread that came through, was that the expectations, yours and my expectations, ain't like they used to be. Another perspective that came out in terms of the customers changing forever is that typically where we've done segmentation of our customers in the past demographically, so we've put customers into buckets based on where they live, what's their education level, how much are they earning, what's the family situation, and so on like that. Several of the larger organizations said that just isn't good enough anymore. It doesn't give us a high enough resolution to actually understand how we can deliver products and service going forward. We need to go beyond that. We need to think about customers in a different way, right? And that really goes hand in hand with the fourth observation, which is it's not about what customers want anymore, it's about what they need. And so often said is that customers really can't understand what they need until they receive it. So we've got to get really smart in terms of our delivery in understanding that these needs continue to evolve. And a lot of the mechanisms that we've inherited about understanding customers, so voice of customer and things like that, they may have been great in the past, but again, a little bit like the segmentation and resolution, they don't give us enough insight into the needs of our customers. That came through very prevalent. So you have the four sort of top things on the, our observation that customers have changed forever, in answer to that question that we truly understand our customers, and the answer would seem to be not so. That's number 5.